reason I brought these out is because I obviously it's Sukkot, which obviously makes the first and most sense of why to bring it out. But I thought it was fascinating because in our biblical words today, we have a Torah portion today, and each through the whole HaMoed throughout the experience all the way until Simchat Torah. We will say from Leviticus 23:40, on the first day you shall take product of hadar trees, branches of palm, burrows of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Lord for 7 days. And so obviously we get this. We get the lulav, which is actually the palm branch itself, and we get ultimately the etrog. And what would happen, as I said about the festivals, is individuals would go to Jerusalem and they would take their lulavs, they'd stick them on the outside of the temple or inside the temple walls. There were various ways to get it. The outer wall, and then you go into the wall. As you go into the wall, there was another gate, and that's where you put your lulav and your etrog. And what was interesting is there was a reason that they went to do this, to shake the lulav and to hold the etrog. Does anyone know why? They were praying for something. They're praying for rain, right? This is the ancient Israelite rain dance, that they would shake this in order to pray in some capacity for rain to come down, because they needed that for the harvest season that would ultimately come, because the rainy season in Israel is after Sukkot. And they would do that on the first day of Sukkot, and then it would give them enough time to go back to their homes, so when the rains would come, they wouldn't get stuck in Jerusalem, okay? Ironically, it rained yesterday here. But that being said, besides being, we don't use this for rain anymore, right? We're not taking this and we're not shaking in the air because maybe it's because we know the barometric pressure. We see the cumulus clouds and the various clouds come in, and we understand when rain comes and doesn't come. And although we might seek rain, or we might have the desire for rain when there's quite a bit of droughts, or this summer, which was quite brutal, and it would have been great to have rain, we don't really have these rain rituals, if we will, today. But we have to rethink we've rethought the symbols in many capacities, right? And one of those we actually read this morning. We read and we talked about how the lulav acts like the spine, and it gives us this idea that we're upright, and we have these which act like the ears, I believe, right? The eyes, I'm sorry, the eyes, and these act like the lips, and you can see they look like eyes. They look like eyes, and these look like white lips with the line in it. So you have eyes and lips, and then you have the etrog, which is the heart, the beating heart. But that's not the only symbolism that they think of. Another one of the symbolisms they say is that each one of the four species. What? Yeah, no, species. Species act as a letter of God. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. And when you put these four together, you unify these four separate aspects, and you bring this unity of God's name. Another one is that one could probably see this based, I guess this is the artistic representation, is that there's masculine and feminine capacities with each of these things. And by bringing it, very Kabbalistic, if you will, by bringing the masculine and the feminine together, you connect, kind of like what we do on Sabbath, bring the Shabbat bride, the masculine and the feminine together. You bring the masculine and feminine together, and you create this mystical relationship of God and the world. There's other ones that each of the four species hints to God based on a midrash in Leviticus, Rabbi 83. And then there's another one that says that if you think about taste on the tongue, and we think about this, we have this from our days, is that before a student would begin their learning of Torah, they would get honey on their tongue, or they would take little letters and they would put honey on their tongue so that they would say that the sweetness of learning. Little did they know that later it wasn't so sweet, but nonetheless, it was sweet at the beginning, right? So they would get this piece of honey. So learning became associated with taste, and smell represented good deeds. And that the etrog has both taste, depends what you consider that taste is, but it definitely has taste and smell. The lulav has taste, but not a smell. The myrtle has smell, but no taste, and the willow has neither, each representing a different type of person. Some having the ability to both learn and do good deeds, some just doing good deeds and not learning, some doing learning and not good deeds, and then there's those that neither learn nor do good deeds. And each is a representation of something to get these signs that some time ago was just a representation of trying to get us to get rain at the time that we needed rain, has now become something so much more. Ritual objects by themselves mean nothing, right? And it's not until we put meaning behind them that we connect them to something we do and connect them to something that makes us more deeply delve into who we are and who we are Jewishly, that they become symbols and ritual symbols. And when they do, as the lulav and the etrog have become, they give us the opportunity to delve much deeper into the meaning and reasons behind what we do in Judaism. And that's